بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله. صلى الله عليك يا ابن رسول الله. صلى الله عليك وعلى أهل بيتك المظلومين. يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة ويا عبرة كل مؤمن ومؤمنة غريب مظلوم كربلاء. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. قال أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب عليهما السلام: إن كمال الدين طلب العلم والعمل به، وإن طلب العلم أوجب عليكم من طلب المال. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Seeking knowledge is known to be an act of worship. We have even hadith narrations in which prioritizes the knowledge, seeking knowledge over the ibadah. نوم العالم أفضل من عبادة العابد. For example, the alim, the scholar, sleeps, he gets more reward than the abid, the worshipper who worships all night. This emphasis on knowledge, seeking knowledge, is a crucial part and sect of Islam. Seeking knowledge will deliver and brings this prosperity and happiness in this life and the hereafter. Seeking knowledge will eventually result in knowing what is haram and what is wajib, and what is the amr bil ma'roof, the enjoining good, and what is nahi anil munkar, refraining the evil act. Without knowledge, without learning, you cannot go anywhere. The world today is based on knowledge. Every field in the society is based on knowledge, taken from anywhere. Even the councils, for example, who deal with cleaning the streets and waste management, it's all done with planning, with research. They apply knowledge with it. Although it's some kind of unaccepted by some people about cleaning and so forth, but in reality there's a knowledge behind it. Waste management, how to manage the waste of a city, of a village, of a region, huge waste by the residents. There is knowledge based on it. So seeking ilm and knowledge, according to the hadith, طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم ومسلمة. Seeking knowledge is obligatory on every Muslim male and female. See how the emphasis on the knowledge, that it became فريضة, obligatory. And when you look at the book of the أحكام شرعية and رسالة عملية of the ulama, you will find that they make it wajib, that you as a follower, as a believer, you must know your basic ahkam that you are involved in daily basis. You will need them in daily basis, such as learning how to do the wudu, for example. It's wajib to know it. How to pray, for example, the fasting rules, the ahkam. It's wajib to know these basic rules so you won't fall into the haram and sin. Because where the sin comes from the jahl, ignorant. So if I don't read and understand what is wajib on me, what is haram on me, on the day of judgment, they will say to me, why did you do this haram? Why did you leave this wajib? If I say, I never knew about it, they will say to me, هل لا تعلمت? You had the chance to go and learn. So Allah's hujjah will be on us on the day of judgment. لا تعلمت, go and learn, ask. Today, mashallah, with this development of the technologies, you can easily reach your alim, your marja, and ask the question. And you get quick response. In the old days, they used to send people from the east to the west. It takes maybe months to get a response, a letter from the Imam alayhi salam, for example, to get some responses. They wait months and months. Now, alhamdulillah, everything is ready. With one click on the net, you can ask and send a question and get reply within minutes sometimes. Also in the Risala al-Amaliyah of the ulama, they mention another fact about seeking knowledge, which is wajib in this field. They say that it is obligatory that a Muslim believe in the basis of religion. The usul al-din must be based on proof and reasoning. In other words, you cannot do taqleed, not even your alim, in believing in the usul al-din, believing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists. He's nothing is like him, for example, to believe in the prophets, to believe in the imams of Ahlul Bayt salamullah alayhim, to believe in the day of judgment. You cannot say, I follow this alim who says the imam is not part of religion, for example, as the non-Shia do. You cannot do this. You have to have general proof and reasoning that convince yourself that you are on the right track. Otherwise, you have to go back and do the research. Who is my imam? Who is my prophet? Is Quran is the right book to follow and get hold of? Is this the right religion? Because if you blindly follow, you say, well, my father was a Muslim and I'm a Muslim. My father was a Shia and I'm a Shia. You have to have some kind of rational proving that this religion is the right religion. That's why we say to our youth, go and study other religions, that's fine. Study the Hindu religion, for example, Christianity, Judaism, study, read, and then come back to Islam and compare it. We are, alhamdulillah, open to all religions, to all beliefs, to all faiths. Because, alhamdulillah, we have a strong religion, strong belief that we are sure that nobody will deviate from this belief unless that person is weak in aqidah and faith, of course. That's a different story. So, the obligation in seeking knowledge is a must be fulfilled by every Muslim. To an extent, of course. You don't have to go to Hawza study for years and years. You ask, you read some books, you go into the debates with the ulama, and then you find out the results. And from there you'll have stronger belief in Aqeedah, of course. And so we have some hadith says, Zahimul ulama. Go and visit the ulama. Meet with them, have a debate, discussions. Because the knowledge is with them. They are actually those who carried today the knowledge of Ahlul Bayt Salaamullah alayhim. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
عن أمير المؤمنين علي عليه السلام, in a hadith, he says, العامل بجهل كالسائر على غير طريق. The one who walks on the path of the ignorance and jahiliyyah, he's actually will end up somewhere else. العامل بجهل كالسائر على غير طريق. You are following a different path. Those who are following the enemies of Ahlul Bayt are going into a different path. Not on the Sirat al-Mustaqim. They are following the wrong path. They are jahil. It's like they give you the address of a specific location you want to go. Let's say you want to come to this Husayniyah, this Markaz. They give you the postcode, correct postcode. And you enter the wrong postcode in the GPS. So you're going to end up maybe in Norj hospital or airports or even the beach. Because the postcode is accurate. It will bring you straight away to this place. Likewise, religion, the ahkam, the aqaid, they all lead you to the right location, to paradise. In the beginning of the lecture, I've read the hadith from Imam Ali Salamullah alayhi with regard to the importance of seeking knowledge. He says Salamullah alayhi, إن كمال الدين طلب العلم والعمل به. It is the root of the perfection to elevate yourself spiritually, to elevate yourself rationally. You have to seek knowledge and apply this knowledge in your daily life. I mentioned this last time. Somebody goes to school, then college, university, graduates, and then he doesn't go and apply his skills he learned from his studies at work. He doesn't go to work. He sits home. The Imam says, وَالْعَمَلِ بِهِ, to apply, to implement the knowledge you have attained and learned, to apply it. وَقُلْ اعْمَلُوا, Allah says subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَقُلْ اعْمَلُوا فَسَيَرَى اللَّهُ عَمَلَكُمْ وَرَسُولُهُ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Amal and implementing the knowledge is important. Nations, societies developed and reached this stage with amal, with knowledge, and applying and implementing the knowledge on the ground. Without knowledge, seeking knowledge and applying that knowledge, none of us would have been, for example, in this country. You have knowledge of how to come to this country. With the knowledge we came to this country, and we're living and continue to live. With the knowledge that the Apollo 13 reached the moon in the 60s, 70s. With the knowledge that we have this great university of Ahlul Bayt Salamullah alayhim, the Hawzat and so forth. With the knowledge that people reach to high levels of perfection, either in the ulum dunyawiyya, the knowledge based and material based, the dunya ulum, or the knowledge of the deen and religion. This dunya is the dunya of causes, of asbab and musabbabat. Without triggering the cause of knowledge, you can't reach anywhere. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
In Muslim countries, for example, there are a couple of statistics here about the situation of the Islamic countries in overall, due to the current situations, the war zones, the bloodshed. According to the statistics, that there are almost 20 to 30% of illiteracy, ummiyah, in the Muslim countries. Almost 1/3 of the Muslims do not know how to write and read, or one of them at least. Although the Islam emphasized on ilm more than any other religion and faith and ideology, but still Muslims stayed behind on the very back line of the others. Also, there is statistics by the UNICEF, a well-known organization worldwide, takes care of the children, the deprived children. UNICEF says that there are 12 million children are now displaced, and they have no school at all in Iraq and Syria, in these two main countries. 12 million children. Imagine, no school, no stability. Some of them, they don't have any parents, or that they killed or they lost them. 12 million children without school. Imagine, from now till the next couple of years, let's say in 10 years' time, if 1 million of those are now taken by those extremist groups, nurture them, educate them, brainwash them, we will have, in the next 10 years, new generation of terrorists. And that's alarming, and we have to be aware of it. Just 1 million of them. And that's how they prepare for the next, God forbid, for the next decades, battle zones and wars. And Allah knows where and when will be the next battle zone. Maybe in the Gulf countries, Allah knows. So, this disastrous statistics tells us clearly that how Muslims stayed behind the teachings of Islam, of their Prophet, of the Quran Al-Kareem, and how they stayed behind the teachings of the progeny of the Prophet ﷺ. They did not accept Kitabullah as practical to implement it, and Ahlul Bayt Salamullah alayhim. They rejected both. And that's the situation of course. You stay away from the Quran and Ahlul Bayt, that's the result. You don't want Imam Hussein Salamullah alayhi, Yazid comes. You don't want Amir al-Mu'mineen Salamullah alayhi, Muawiyah comes. That's the consequence of rejecting the reformist, the Muslihin, the great people who would bring peace to the world. You reject them, the bad guys come to the power. That's the sunnah of this life, of this hayat al-dunya. When you bring those who cause corruption to the society,